Hello, my fellow Nixies. We are here on August 2nd, 2022 to do my monthly executive address to the nation, to discuss the status of our nation every month. And this month, on August, we are going to talk about everything that has happened from July 1st to yesterday and August 1st. So, let's begin with the status of our nation. Our government has gone through changes. Senator Marcy Elsler and Senator Robert Bramall have willfully resigned from the unicameral due to outside work affecting their constitutional duties. But Robert, however, is remaining as the Foreign Affairs Secretary, our nation's first. So, and he has been a great, wonderful, helpful citizen, uh, ensuring that the nations that we talk to are still talking with us and, trying to get us actually get state visits made or something like that to get our ambassadors up and running to discuss with other nations and such. So he's doing a great job. I hope he keeps it up. Former Senator Marcy Elsler has not chosen a new position yet. I'm hoping she would, but in case she does not, that means she'll be a private citizen again, and her name will no longer be mentioned on record. Of course, everybody by now should know her at this point, but at the same time, as a new private citizen, her name will still be in the government books and website, as the former senator. But she will be a private as this time. Really, she is now a private citizen, so her name will not be mentioned a lot at all. Um, when it comes to government things. So on July 18th, which is the 8th unicameral session, um, I believe we skipped the 7th one because I noticed in my last executive address it was the 6th unicameral meeting, but then there was the 7th. I think we had a 7th one I think we did have the 7th one in June. Either that or it got skipped. But regardless, we had on July 18th the unicameral session was set to be held, but it did not occur due to severe absences. A lot of legislators have received warnings from Her Majesty for unexcused absences that day. Um, I'm not going to throw out names on who was not there. You can really just check it out yourself in the next group chat or the new or whatever, things are posting in our many social media platforms. So, yeah, the legislators really need to get back to work on their jobs. Me and my cabinet, however, had plenty of executive meetings throughout the entire month of July, trying to draft a bill to reform our entire legislative branch. Um, if you want more information on that bill, please watch our meetings on Nick's Delta Broadcast and or my personal podcast, the Nick's Acolyte Talk Show. Um, we got one new citizen that resides in our most populous federal county, Iroquois County. So we got a new citizen. Now we're at 31. Yes. I am happy that we got a new citizen. Even though it's just one person, we got a new citizen regardless. It makes my day every day. Every time we get a new citizen, it makes my day. Even if it's just one person, it makes my day. Um, the website is currently being updated to catch up with the times with all the resignations and position changes and such like that. Um, yeah, that's really it on that one. We are still in the process of developing our own currency, the Nixie Pound. Hopefully next year it'll be officially created. We still got to do the smelting of soda cans so we can back it up with aluminum and copper. Um, or this new thing that I was suggested to by a coworker of mine to make bronze, which apparently is a copper aluminum alloy. So it's a thought. Um, Also, the first representative election is coming up soon. So hopefully a citizen will want to run for the position in the election so our people can have more of a voice. We do have a citizen that is considered running. Um, at the moment there is no one else considering that, so I'm hoping that he runs for this election. If he runs unopposed, great. Great. We're still gonna have the votes, of course. If he's the only candidate, he's the only candidate. But I hope he runs. Um, so our unicameral will finally be functional again. Because believe it or not, I've actually discovered while in the unicameral session that which was yesterday, by the way, yesterday's unicameral, supposedly unicameral session, yesterday. Um, I've discovered that in the Constitution, it actually does not say that we, the government, or the legislative branch, really, uh, is required to have a quorum to even begin a meeting. Meaning, it could have just been me and the Queen. So I told the Queen that, and the Queen didn't want to do that because it would not be fair to have a um, more opinions, more criticism, more voice, really, on the bills that are being proposed. So that's why she went ahead and just said, no, we're still not gonna do anything in business in the unicameral, even if it is just the two of us. So I tried. I'm sure the Queen made the right decision. Of course, I was a little against it because I was sick of the absences of my own people. So hopefully in the future we'll get more citizens to grow our unicameral so we can actually have a functioning government. So, but I do hope he runs. So at least we can have three people making it to these meetings, you know. We are in talks with the Commonwealth of Dracul to possibly acquire our own ID cards for citizens. Now, it's not official yet. I'm just saying we're in talks. So don't get confused. Like we made a decision. No, we have not made a decision yet. Um, but you know they're the first nation that we're aware of that made ID cards. So I figured, why not? We need ID cards too, so people can know who we are and such. So I thought, you know what? We got already other stuff to do. So why not we just ask the Commonwealth of Dracul for help and get a trade agreement going? Or I guess purchase their services on making us ID cards. Um, yeah, so everybody can get an ID card. Yeah, I think that would be nice for the nation to have. So, myself and Her Majesty decided to have a free game called Trove, to be our community game. Meaning, um, it is a virtual game where everybody can actually meet together. Now y'all are thinking, well, why didn't you? Sadly, Trove is not a cross-platform game. Sadly, so that means, well, at least the government, not everybody has to get the same platform as everybody. But of the what platform you have right now, the government has to get the same thing: mobile device, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So we have to get Trove on at least all those platforms. So if any of the citizens have any of those platforms, like if it's just one of them, our government will be there to meet with them and talk with them and such on the game. Um, so Trove has like a club world thing. It has all that good stuff. We'll make our own club world, make our own little islands and fancy stuff. We go kill things, and it's a game, of course. Um, but we thought, you know, it being free, it's online, free to play. Um, build stuff, dungeoneer, make your character look weird or cool, I guess. We thought that would be a good community game. So, some people say Minecraft and Ark should be a thing. Her Majesty chose Trove out of nowhere. So, Trove it is. Um, but this will give us a virtual meeting place. So, for citizens that are very far away from us or they can't leave the house to meet us because we're their servants and we need to serve them and they need to know we are serving them. So if the only way for them to meet us is through the game, they can meet us through the game. Um, previously I had filed a citizens initiative petition to have House Bill 8 and House Joint Resolution 3, which were supposed to be discussed during one of the unicameral sessions, to be law, bypassing the unicameral. So far, only Iroquois and Linden County has applied for the referendum. But after the recently failed unicameral session on August 1st, which was yesterday, the two bills are now being drafted and signed as royal decrees from Her Majesty. Because we are sick and tired of our legislators who are supposed to be serving the people and being their voice to have unexcused absences, knowing that there be meetings. Um, and finally, my fellow Nixies, today I have virtually signed Her Majesty's Third Royal Decree, which was formerly known as House Bill 8. It is now the Third Royal Decree, into law. I have signed it into law, which creates our nation's first book of general laws, separate from constitutional laws. There is a difference. Um, some of you may be wondering, if it's a royal decree, why do I have to sign it into law before it's enacted? Because even the monarch needs to have a checks and balance. The monarch shouldn't just be writing laws and throwing them out there and enacting them. No. I am her barrier. And no, me and Her Majesty do not agree that many on a lot of things. We really don't. We agree on a lot of things, but we don't agree on a lot of things. So we're very good at when it comes to a specific topic, and we're gonna be debating. Because there'll be some things where I disagree with things. And there'll be things where I agree with. Obviously, with House Bill 8 formally being the bill that I drafted, obviously I'm going to sign it into law because I think it will best help the nation, at least organizing what the difference between the constitutional laws, which are rights that are naturally given to you, and laws, constitutional laws that are supposed to restrict what the government can and can't do. Okay, and then you got the general laws, which it has the remapping of the counties in case it needs to be remapping, which is actually one of the things to talk about ever since we got a citizen from Oregon, who is the secretary of the Virtual Nixie National Baseball Association. Yes, that is a government position. Um, what else is there? Right. So he's a citizen in Oregon, and Oregon is not part of any of our counties for demographical reasons. So we have to have a bill, or if our unicameral ever gets functioning again, it'll have to be a royal decree to remap the counties to fit Oregon in there. So far it seems like county number 9 is a good candidate to have the Oregon area to be part of. So, but I have to wait until the next unicameral session, or I have to wait till the Queen decides to make it a royal decree, since our unicameral is deciding to not function. So, well, at least we have multiple ways. It could either be royal decree or citizens initiative. There's always the citizens initiative. So if there are laws that you, my fellow Nixies, like or dislike, I have made it where on the Google Docs you can comment on them. So if there's a bill you like or dislike, let us know which ones you like or dislike, and we will obviously see that which laws should be, well, law or not law. And Her Majesty's Court of Ministers can back you up with that as well. If there's a law that they believe, the Supremacy Branch believes, that it's unconstitutional, they can actually declare null and void. But at the same time, you, the people, have the power to say, no, we think this should be law. All you have to do is file a citizens initiative. Regardless of what the Supremacy Branch says, it's law. So, there you go. We have backups, just in case, if there's things that people like. You the people, can pass it too. So, Alrighty. Well, that is all for tonight. Let's hope the month of August will be a lot more confident and optimistic in the building of our community away from divisive politics in the United States. Before I go, though, I will be on my podcast today to post the very first games of the Nixie National Baseball Tournament that has started this month. Yes, the tournament has finally began. The regular seasons are over. Um, the Whitesboro Cavaliers are still number one ranked team in the nation. So some of the rankings have switched around a little bit, but all the games have finally been reached, and a lot of teams are they're in it. The Linden Geese, my personal team, is ranked number 7 at the moment. Taylorberry Bulldogs, and I believe I'll have to remember this one. I think it's the I think it's the Caribbean Islanders. I could be wrong. Taylorberry Bulldogs and another team are tied together in rank 11 because they got the same amount of wins and losses. No, St. Matthew Saints. That's what it was. It was the St. Matthew Saints. Yes, they got the same amount of wins and losses, so they're tied in the same rank, which is fine because it's just a ranking. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. Whoever's got the most wins and count from how many wins they got. That's your rank. So if you're tied, you're tied. That part doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But today there will be a tournament. It's gonna be in a separate video. Um, so we're gonna begin the first games. I think I did mark down which ones are gonna start. Let me check for that real quick for y'all. The very first games that are going to start today, anyway. Now, mind you, um, sadly, I cannot make them live yet. I still have to figure that out, so I apologize for that. And two, it'll be easier to make it recorded anyway, because I can actually schedule it on my time, and you'll still. Sadly, you can't see the game. I'm sorry, you cannot see the game, but because I'm still trying to figure that part out. Um, my clerk is actually supposed to help me out in the future with things like that. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to be doing my podcast similar to a sports radio when it comes to playing the games. So you're going to hear the game, hopefully. I'm hoping you'll hear the game at least. I don't think you're going to hear any music. You're not going to hear the announcers. I'm going to be the announcers. I'm going to be yelling, screaming. I won't be yelling and screaming, but I'll be doing something to, tell you what's going on in the game. Um, all that stuff, and make it sporty, all that good stuff. So, right. So the first games of today, which I will be doing on the podcast, I'm going to say the same thing on the podcast anyway. Take this as a teaser. In the Western League, the first games are going to be the Saskatchewan Foresters versus the Whitesboro Cavaliers. And then it's going to be the St. Louis River Snakes versus the Caribbean Netherlands. In the Central League, it's going to be the Taylorberry Bulldogs versus the Caribbean Islanders. And then the Greenwood are going up against the Valley Station Knights. And then in the Eastern League, my team, the Linden Geese, will go against the Owenton Railroaders. And the St. Matthew Saints will be going up against the Gourmet Shrimps in the first round. So, again, I'm sorry that y'all can't see the game live. Of course, we gotta watch out for copyright issues at the same time. But at least you'll be able to hear the game. I'll be the one telling you what's happening in the game. I'll tell y'all who won. I guess to show a little bit more proof that a team won and such, I will take a picture of the score for each team, for each game and team that won and whatnot, and I will actually put it on the podcast at the at the end of every game. So if that will help y'all, so that'll be all for tonight. Ave Rex, Vivat Regnum. God save the Queen. Long live the queendom. Good night.